Welcome to the week 2 edition of Johnny's Scramble Drill. I'm Stucky, and joining me, as he will each and every week, is none other than Mr. Johnny Manziel, who had a good week 1, 2-1. But as we will do each and every week, we'll go through the 3 big games on the slate: the noon game on Fox, the 3:30 game on CBS, and the marquee primetime matchup. So for this week, that means we're kicking things off with a big one in the big house in Ann Arbor between Texas and Michigan. Michigan is a 7.5-point underdog. Michigan has only been a home underdog of a touchdown or more 5 other times since 2000. They lost all 5 of those games outright. Last week, offense looked very suspect. Replacing the entire offensive line. Wide receivers struggled to get separation, and the quarterback play was subpar, to say the least. Texas coming off a dominating win over Colorado State. Low total here, but Johnny, do you like Texas to get it done on the road?
Yeah, I really like Texas here. I think just their offense, obviously after week 1, getting a chance to see some of their formations, some of their routes, what they're doing. I really think Sarkisian's going to come into this game. It's a huge game on their schedule, obviously playing, a defending national title team. But I like Texas. I like Quinn Ewers. I think they're going to be able to come out early, be able to score some points, and really get after Michigan. I think, they're prepared. They're ready for this game. And, their offense is just really, really good. Have some questions about their defense, obviously a little bit in the secondary, but as far as playing this Michigan team, I didn't see enough on offense to really warrant me picking Michigan in this game. And I think it's going to be Texas by more than just the spread. I think it'll end up being a double-digit victory for the Longhorns.
Yeah, it could get very troublesome for Michigan, especially if they fall behind in this game, trying to keep up with what we saw from the offense last week. And look, Texas also has a couple questions in the interior, that defensive line. You lost Sweat, you lost Murphy, but I'm just not sure from what I've seen, what I saw last week with that Michigan offensive line, after losing 6 guys to the pros, if they can fully take advantage and generate that consistent push up front.
Yeah, I agree. They're going to want to try and play their Michigan style of football. I don't know if they have it against this Texas team, really. I think, it's going to be one of those games. Quinn Ewers opens up, be able to push the ball down the field vertically a little bit. And I think it's just going to be too much Texas on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely going to have some opportunities to hit some explosive plays. You can anticipate that Wink Martindale's going to bring the blitz against them and hope that he makes some mistakes, but might just be too much of a talent advantage for Texas. All right, moving on to the 3:30 game. And we're talking about the Cy-Hawk rivalry between Iowa and Iowa State. Iowa's right around a field goal favorite at home. Interestingly enough, this game, with a super low total around 35, has gone under in 17 of the past 19 meetings. However, total's not usually this low. 10 of those 19 games did reach at least 37 points. Johnny, there's word in Iowa City that there's a new look offense potentially. This isn't your older brother's Iowa offense. Maybe they're going to throw it a little more, use a little motion. Iowa State, a couple injury concerns on defense. Both these teams played an FCS team last week, so this will be a really good data point for each. Who do you like here?
I like Iowa here, and I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be your typical kind of Iowa football game. I think it's going to be them running the ball, trying to set up some play action things. They obviously did look a little better in week 1 as far as a more explosive offense, I guess you could say. But this is one of those games, obviously a little bit of a rivalry game in state, playing for the Cy-Hawk trophy. But I think at the end of the day, this is going to be a low scoring game, one that Iowa thrives in. Their defense is just so strong, one of the best in the nation. I think it's going to give Iowa State some fits. That's what they do. They win the turnover battle. They try and win the field position game and really use their special teams and defense to be able to keep this thing and just keep this thing low scoring and just kind of drown them out a little bit. I see much of the same kind of in this one. I think Iowa's going to do their thing, run the ball quite a bit, and be able to open some passing lanes for Cade McNamara in the play action pass game as well.
Yeah, true freshman wide receiver looked pretty promising for Iowa last week. And yeah, a lot of times these games with, a game with a spread of 3 and a very low total, a lot of times it comes down to who makes that key turnover. a critical special teams mistake or play. And more often than not, Iowa makes those plays. And in the end, that ultimately might be the difference in this one. Another thing worth noting is Iowa State's offense last year worked best when they were hitting explosive plays. And Phil Parker's defense at Iowa does as good a job as any team in the country at limiting explosive plays. All right, let's move on to the primetime matchup between Tennessee and NC State. This game will be in Charlotte, so you might see a bit of a split crowd here. Tennessee over a touchdown favorite, between 7 and 10 out in the market. You want to talk about an exciting player and potential explosive plays. Tennessee has one of them at quarterback with Nico. He looked great last week, albeit against an FCS team. He also looked great against that Iowa defense in the bowl game. NC State's offense, had some struggles last week against an FCS team. Grayson McCall, the new quarterback there. Johnny, before I ask who you like how much can an offense really improve from week 1 to week 2 by just getting out there and working out the kinks? Like, can you see dramatic improvement? Should bettors and college football fans not overreact too much to an offense that has new pieces and a new quarterback, struggling in the first week in a game where they might not have shown much?
Yeah, I think week 1, a lot of it is to get some of the rust off. A lot of these guys haven't played in real live fire snaps before. So week 1, I always look at as, these guys getting a chance to get a lot of the nerves, get a lot of the rust off, and playing real, fast game time type of football. So I think week 2, there is a ton of area for improvement. I think it's your second time getting a chance to be able to get out there, and it's obviously a little easier. You're a little looser out on the field. So I think it is a little bit easier in week 2, and I think you will be able to see some improvements this week. And one coming from Grayson McCall, I think this guy's played a lot of football. He's obviously thrown for over 10,000 yards in his career, 90 plus touchdowns. I really like NC State and the points here. I think I just like the experience at quarterback to be able to go and make some plays. Iamaleava is an unbelievable talent that they have at Tennessee. I think this is going to be a game that ends up being a little bit high scoring with some offenses going back and forth in the day.
Well, I'm shocked, number one, that you went with NC State. I agree with you, but you're not going SEC here. So look, anyone saying Johnny just goes with every SEC team, not true. Going with the Wolfpack and the points here. I do think that you'll see a better effort from McCall, and that NC State offense have improved weapons. McCall's legs, I think, will be big here in the RPO game. And the weakness of the Tennessee team is their secondary. Lost 3 guys to the NFL, 3 guys to Power 4 teams. They're going to be tested this week. We'll just see if that offensive line can hold up against a really good Tennessee front. And this is a complex defense to play against for a young quarterback. So we'll see if Nico can avoid a critical mistake, but should be a fun one to watch in prime time. But there you have it. Johnny is rolling with Texas, Iowa, and taking the points with NC State. Good luck, and I'll see you next week for the week 3 Scramble Drill.